Well, I think that that's probably the part of the book that most kind of resonates with someone like me, which is, especially when it comes to kids, right? It's that you have, and I have, I guess maybe it's an advantage, maybe it's a disadvantage, but my kids are sort of separated in age by a bit of a gap, right? So my daughter's 14 and then the boys are 5 and 8. So in other words, I now know what it's like to have a teenager. I now understand all the things that you kind of give up when your kid's a teenager. And our daughter's an amazing kid, but the reality of it is like, she doesn't really want to be around me.
No, they don't want to know you when they become teenagers. I didn't want to know my parents when I was teenagers. Right? Like,
yeah. Whereas conversely, the boys can't leave us alone. And it's tempting to sort of say, I wish they would just leave us alone. But now knowing that, actually in like 6 years, you'll kill to be back in this situation.
Correct.
Makes it infinitely more easy to appreciate.
Correct.
So that's kind of one thing that I think is helpful for people to understand the seasons and this idea of seasonality.
Right.
Like you, I probably think back to things I didn't do for different reasons, right? So when I was in college, I mean, I couldn't have worked harder. Like I was out of my mind how hard I worked.
Right.
My night off, there was one night, which was Friday, when I only worked till 9 p.m. It was my break. And from 9 p.m. till 11, I would
I needed a little bit of you and you needed a little bit of me.
I would go and do laundry after 9 p.m. on a Friday. That was my way to just take a little time off. But other than that, it was 6 hours a day of work outside of class. And I think of all the things I didn't do in college. So first of all, my only memories of college are pure misery. I hated every minute of college. I didn't have
the college experience.
Yeah. Now, I could say, well, a lot of good came out of that because I did really well and did well. That set me up for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But like, I could have traveled, right? I didn't. Having a college experience didn't mean I had to get drunk every night.
No,
it meant that I could have saved all that money I was making by tutoring and done something different.
This reminds me of, the college paper had this kind of like, my senior year, I opened up and had the 50 things you need to do before you graduate. And I just had the biggest regret when I read that list. I was like,
and you read it at what age? Like how much?
I was like just about on my way out, right? Like on my way out, like my life. I was like, never going to be able to do this. I'm not going to do this. It's like, and some of them were simple, like write an angry letter to newspaper, go skinny dipping at lake, whatever. Actually did that after I read that. There were a lot of things. Do this college prank, do whatever, like things that would be fun, didn't necessarily cost you money or whatever, but like things to do to have a college experience, not necessarily do them all. And I was like, maybe I did 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, why was I so on autopilot in my way? I didn't think about like, okay, you got 4 years here. You should get good grades, good study, but like, you want to get this out of it. You want to do this out of it. You want to have this college experience, et cetera, right? We just kind of like don't really think about things, go on autopilot so much that we don't think about the periods in our life. Even, this year, what experiences do I want to have this year with this person, with myself, with my spirituality, with my health, with my travel, my leisure, my job, how am I going to optimize? And how does that fit into the Tetris game of my entire life? Right? Am I doing it right? Maybe this experience that I'm saying goes here actually goes further out in my life, right? When I was trying to get the book published, one of the publishers said, I do exactly what you're talking about in the book. I really like hiking. She explained she had an injury and she likes running, but now she does like hiking and she really likes concert and music. And she goes on a vacation with a friend every year. They pick what they're going to go do. And there's this very expensive opera that she wants to go see, and et cetera. And she said, what I and our friend decided is that the hiking trips and, this mountain, et cetera, we're going to pull these forward. And the sitting in operas and these type of trips, the sedentary trips, we're going to push forward.
Push to the future.
Push it in the future to max the height. So it's like, if they get that order right, they get that order wrong, right? They go all the opera and then they turn around like, holy shit, I can't hike this mountain, right? And so this fits in every aspect of your life, right? College, first job, pre-married, married, before kids, kids that are toddlers, not toddlers, that type of thinking is really helpful. And you've been lucky. Experience has taught you about the seasons with your kids,
Yep.
right? And I learned the hard way too. I was like, people tell you like, oh, your kids don't want to be when you're 13. And you're like, you kind of forget when you were 13, right? Like you forget like, oh yeah, I didn't want to be around my parents. And then, it really hits you when they're just like, oh, dad. Nobody hangs out with their dad that much. Come on.